Well, welcome everyone. It's time for another village walk. Have you recognised where we are? Timanfaya in the distance there. Lots and lots of lava stuff. A footpath here, which I'll come back to in a moment. And there's the village. It is, of course, El Golfo. And I'm starting at the far end of the village where the road kind of just finishes because I wanted to talk very briefly about this footpath which starts here. It goes for 12 kilometres all through Timanfaya, and it's one of the very few parts of Timanfaya that's open to walkers. And as I say, you can walk 12 kilometres travelling north from here. It's pretty rough going though. This section is very smooth, but we've done it, and within a couple of kilometres of here you get a lot of pillow lava and quite sharp, jagged lava to walk on. It's not really that comfortable. 12 kilometres feels like more like 20. So what I'm going to do is take you through the village of El Golfo, show you what's here. Stay tuned until the end, because at the end I'm going to show you the main event here, which is of course the famous Green Lagoon, Lago Verde or Chaco de los Clicos. It's absolutely rammed up there, which is why I've started this end, and I hope it gets a little bit quieter by the time I get there, but we will see. So let's begin our walk through El Golfo. Now, El Golfo was just a fishing village for centuries, really. This northern coast, although it's very rough, is abundant in sea life. Population here is under 300, so it's very small, but what marks it out from most villages here in Lanzarote is that it has a major tourist attraction, the Green Lagoon. And the place has an absolute abundance of bars and restaurants to cater for all the tourists who visit it. Here's the first of them, El Calaton. It's also the place where locals tend to go for Sunday lunch. Sunday lunch traditionally here is all about the fish, and as we'll see in a few minutes, there are loads and loads of fish restaurants in El Golfo. I don't think there are any active fishermen here these days, but I could be wrong. There are certainly quite a few boats around here on shore. Very volcanic coast this, from the Timanfaya eruptions. Lots of pecan and big boulders that were thrown out as bombs from the volcanoes. This restaurant is called Lago Verde, the Green Lake, after the Green Lake, of course. I noticed these earlier, these seabirds, seagulls all over the place here. I did see a couple of egrets earlier, but they appear to have disappeared. Looks like there's a big bunch of cyclists stopped for some lunch here. Another restaurant on the left there, Mar Azul, Casa Luis. A few €1,000 worth of bikes there. The one there, Casa Torano. And it's a lovely place for lunch because you can have your lunch by the sea. Of course, there is Barlavento. Hola, buenas, ¿qué tal? Bien. This particular one coming up is one of my favourites. It's bogavante, which means lobster, by the way, it's in English. That's got tables right on the seafront here. It's pretty nondescript inside, but the food is superb. Little mini market here on the left. This is the entrance to Bogavante, and they have a tank there with lobsters in it. One of the few places here that sells fresh lobster. It's famous for olivina, which is the green stone which you can find in the lava rocks around it. If you break one of the lava rocks open, you'll often find this sort of semi-precious olivina in it. As we start to head up the hill now, there are a couple more big restaurants coming up. We have Restaurante de Mar, El Pescador, and there's one at the back there called El Hotelito. Just going to dive down this alleyway to show you something else down here. This one is another of my favourites, Costa Azul. Slightly better protected on a windy day than many of them. And there's the view. And there are effectively three car parks here. One where we started the video at the far end of the village. This one here, which is sort of in the middle. And then the furthest one, which is... I'll just pause to let that Range Rover go by. The furthest one, you can just see the top of the coach there, which is the one that most people stop at to go and look at the Green Lagoon. Tiny little gift shop there on the promontory. I'm not going to do it because there's not a lot to see, but you can walk out onto the edge there and watch the waves. I'm actually going to carry on up the hill towards the Green Lagoon now. The village has a small five-a-side football pitch here. You wouldn't really want to come over and scrape your knee on that. I think it's an old aljibe with a concrete top. Adjacent to the car park, we've got this very big coffee and food shop, which has a little bazaar on the side that sells clothing and sunglasses and stuff like that. As you can see, the coaches bring tourists down here as well. Right, well, it's still chaos up here. I'll try and fight my way through. There's a small black sand beach here with a couple of, four small fishing boats on it. Some people enjoying the sunshine. That main path, which you can see now, is the one we'll be walking in a moment, which is where you can get the best glimpse of the Green Lagoon, which is right behind that beautiful black sand beach you can see in the distance there. So we're on that top path now. It's very safe and smooth walking. Steep at the beginning, but it settles down in a little bit. Lovely views from the high point here of the path, and then it drops down to a viewing station from which you can see the lagoon. And there it is, in all its glory. The green colour is caused by a specific algae that lives in it. It's several metres deep, but it is fed by the ocean. And it's the lagoon that was made famous by Raquel Welch, emerging from it in the 1960s film 1 Million Years BC. Looks like there's a film crew down there. You often see film crews here using the lagoon and the black sand as a backdrop for images. Now behind the lagoon is one wall of what was a volcanic crater, and the seas eroded the front of it. That's why you have that kind of half moon shape. Well, there you go, I'm back to the car now, and well worth a visit because the Green Lagoon is stunning to look at, but maybe don't time it like I did. It's a Wednesday and it's sort of late morning, and I've just never seen the place so busy. It kind of takes away from the enjoyment somewhat. But also, as well as looking at the lake, do come up here on a Sunday, or any other day of the week actually, and enjoy a wonderful fresh fish lunch here. So I hope you've enjoyed that. That's El Golfo, one of the villages of Lanzarote. And I'm going to enjoy the drive back out and up that road now. Bye for now, everyone. Thanks for watching.